Yo. I don't know if it was this guy or somebody else I seen where they go to people's houses. They be like, "Can we cut your yard for free?" And then they film it for like TikTok, YouTube, Twitch. No, I think it's TikTok and YouTube. They might put it on Twitch. They might got like a Twitch channel. I feel like everybody know they got a Twitch channel. They mainly just be gaming, and it be like the old people that be on Twitch. They be trying to sell merchandise, do cooking classes, but it's older people. I don't know why they got old people on Twitch. It don't make no sense. But they got old people on YouTube, so
Windows are boarded up, but actually looks like someone might live here, so we'll check. Do you know what's going on with this house?
City of Wichita, they're selling all their houses, so they made everybody vacate all of their homes and stuff, so they also had to vacate and move somewhere else. As soon as they moved out, the city has not come to cut it, so the city gave them a certain period of time to vacate, and it wasn't a long time. She was disabled. She had to be in a wheelchair and stuff. It was kind of sad to see her in this position, you know.
That's too bad.
I'm not sure why they didn't just cut the grass when they came and boarded it up. So yeah, because like bugs and snakes, I mean, we find snakes like crazy.
Really?
Spiders are like populating.
And you're running a daycare next door, right?
I do run a daycare next door.
That's not good then.
It's not, because the mosquitoes, and it's just bad.
Well, thanks for the information. I was just knocking on the door to see if it was vacant, and I was gonna clean it up, at least make it look better for the neighborhood and you guys.
Absolutely, I appreciate it.
Do you want me to get that tree out of your fence?
Please. I have to move my toys because like the snakes, I just don't want them to be in one of the playhouses and the snake pop out. I literally just found a dead snake under the little slide.
Oh.
And then the spiders are just horrific over here. They're so bad. I didn't know what was gonna happen with this, and I'm like, ugh, somebody need to do it.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're here, so thank you.
Hey everyone, Spencer here with SB Mowing, and I went up to go knock on this door and offer to mow the lawn completely free because I saw it was getting crazy overgrown. But nobody answered, but as I was on the porch, the next door neighbor opened their window and started yelling at me and telling me that it was vacant. So I asked her if she could come out and tell me a little bit more about the home. It turns out that the city actually used to own this home, and the people that were living here were really good friends of hers. They were renting it from the city, but for some reason the city was trying to sell it and they had to vacate them. So I guess since the city is selling a bunch of their houses, they had to vacate all of their houses and those people had to move somewhere else. But since they moved out a few months ago, the city hasn't come by to cut the lawn and it's still not sold. So nobody knows what's really going on with this house at this point, but they all know that it looks really, really bad. So I thought I'd spend the day getting it cleaned up for the neighborhood and making it look amazing again. And I got started that day by edging up the sidewalk, the driveway, and the front curb. Then I got my mower out to cut down the crazy tall grass, and it's been a while trimming all the edges up to make it look amazing again. So be sure to stay till the very end of this video because it looks like a completely different home. Also, if you haven't done so yet, go down below and click that subscribe button for me, as it's really the best way to support this work that I do. Anyways, I hope y'all enjoy this one, and I hope you have a great rest of your day, a great rest of your week, and I'll see you next Friday. SB Mowing, out.
while. Unless you got like somebody just walking around.
Hey everyone, Spencer here, and I'm sitting here in my garage because spring is finally here and I'm getting all my lawn care gear ready for the upcoming mowing season. And I couldn't be more excited to share some of my go
Alright everybody, we finally got finished up. The belt actually broke on my mower halfway through the backyard, so I had to run home, grab a new belt. I've been using that one for quite a while now, and just wearing it out, stretching it out, and it finally decided to snap after, you know, another crazy tall backyard. But luckily I had a spare one at home, and it just took me a minute to put it on. But we finally got this done. I hope you guys enjoyed this transformation. I know the neighbor over here, she runs a daycare, and so she said she hasn't been able to put toys in her front yard along that fence because of the weed trees that were growing, and so now she can back some of those up against there. And she also said there's a ton of snakes and spiders that come over from this yard, and she's found kind of underneath the toys, and some of her kids have found too. So I'm glad we got that cleaned up and looking better for her and more functional for her too. But anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed this one. We're gonna get cleaned up and get out of here and get some awesome before and after pictures. But if you haven't done so yet, click that subscribe button for me. It's really the best way to support me. But if you did want to support me just a little bit further, you can head over to sbmowing.com, grab an SB Mowing hat, SB Mowing shirt, or any of my awesome merchandise over there. I also sell my red handheld Mariama equipment, like my edger, my trimmer, and blower.
Alright. Anyways, thank y'all for watching. We're gonna get out of here. I can only imagine how long this video was. 22 minutes. That's not even as long as the original video was. I would have watched the original video being here half an hour. Anyways, thank y'all for watching.